We're going to switch gears. We're back in the studio, and what we're going to talk about today is energy and why it's so important, and how we can harness it and things like that, and be efficient with it. You know what I mean? And these energy prices around the world are going crazy. So we're going to break down a video I saw from a great channel, and we're going to see what's the best, most efficient way to harness that energy. Let's take a look.
Humanity flourishes when we have abundant economic energy. And so the more efficient and more production overall that we can encourage and we can incentivize, the better off we're going to be. Energy is not a bad thing. It's the best thing.
Energy is definitely not a bad thing. I mean, it's a thing that we all have and we all need. And this stuff right here on the table and the stuff that you guys have is energy. We put it out, input, output all the time. But we have these crazy climate control people. And then you got the government trying to control everything, through energy. You know what I mean? So we have to harness that energy the right way. Let's see how we can do that.
It's a crisis decades in the making. Europe on the brink of an energy and economic disaster as supplies are choked off and electricity costs soar.
The European economy is going to collapse if natural gas keeps doing what it's doing. There's no mystery to that. You're talking about input costs that are starting to hit levels that are overshadowing the profit margins. They're just going to shut down industry. We're seeing it in a compressed timescale, but energy is this master resource.
Extraordinary geopolitical circumstances and conflict are colliding with years of short-sighted energy policies that left countries like Germany and the UK heavily dependent on Russian imports to meet their energy needs. Russia has been restricting supplies of the cheap natural gas that Europe depended on for years to generate electricity and power homes and factories.
I'm already at the limit. I don't know yet how to get through the next 2 weeks, she said. I see everything rising, the rent, power. I don't know how things will develop.
It's basic supply and demand, people. When you take away the energy and the oil over there in Europe, what do you think the prices are going to do? You know what I mean? And then you got these idiots over there in London, the climate people or whatever, laying in the ground saying, oh, we got to stop this oil and stuff like that. Oh my God, it's absolutely sick. This is why we should have never messed with Russia, man. Russia is nobody to play with.
According to Eurostat, Russian supply accounts for 29% of Europe's oil imports, 43% of its natural gas, and 54% of its coal. Western sanctions against Putin appear to be backfiring.
Appear to be backfiring? With all due respect, it definitely backfired. That was one of the dumbest things Brandon did was put sanctions on Russia. I swear this administration has done everything it can to start you-know-what, man. It's crazy. And then you take them off the money. So they're showing everybody in the world, us as Americans, like, hey, if we can take Russia and give them and sanction them and they can't use our money or that system, the SWIFT system, whatever, what do you think other countries are going to do? Nuts, man.
And with Russia's recent shutdown of the crucial Nord Stream 1 pipeline, which supplies natural gas to Europe through Germany, the crisis is putting a spotlight on whether Europe's green initiatives have now crippled the continent's ability to power itself.
Again, guys, those green initiatives are stupid. We all know that. But the Nord Stream pipeline in particular, Donald Trump said it best. Tucker said it best. We know what happened. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh. If you just think about it, it's like you're living in a movie or something. Absolutely insane.
All those net zero promises by 2050 seem rather irrelevant at the moment.
We are in what can be described as a hybrid war, said French President Emmanuel Macron. Russia uses energy resources, like it does food, as a war weapon to exert pressure.
Among the policies in recent years that left Europe strangled from abundant energy is the phasing out of nuclear power plants. Outgoing British Prime Minister Boris Johnson railed against this strategy, saying it caused countries to be dependent on foreign suppliers.
How many new nuclear power stations have we built in the 27 years since? The answer is none. It's called myopia. It's called short-termism. It's a chronic case of politicians not being able to see beyond the political cycle.
Preach, Boris. It's short-term thinking. These politicians are politricians. All they do is care about their 2-year, 6-year cycle, and they just say whatever they want to do, not thinking about their future, our kids' future, our grandkids' future. He hit the nail right on the head. Absolutely right.
In other words, a classic case of high time preference behavior, whereas a feature of the Bitcoin system is low time preference thinking. And now, with the war in Ukraine extending into a new month, there is no easy political solution. After all, you can print money, but you can't print energy.
He knows that the power of the West is based on a paper credit system. He's saying, bullshit, I call. You want the oil? Oh, you want the wheat? You want the natural gas, Germany? Show me the real stuff.
That is a feature of Bitcoin. Low time preference thinking. We think long term. Like I said to you the other day, we're not ready to be a full-blown currency yet. We're building on the network, but we're thinking long term. We're thinking thousands of years ahead. When I say we, I'm talking about Bitcoiners. And that guy you just saw, Lawrence Leopard, he is a major gold bug. Look him up, Lawrence Leopard, major gold bug. And he's full on to Bitcoin. He still likes gold and everything and precious metals, but he's all into it. So again, we got to think long term instead of short term.
Macro analysts, including Luke Groman and author Alex Epstein, make the case that energy as a master resource is the most important driver of industry and quality of life on planet Earth. And ultimately, it is energy, not money, which determines the course of global politics.
Energy is so fundamental to the productivity of our economy, and therefore what I would call our ability to flourish as individuals, to really live long, healthy, safe, fulfilling lives.
The realpolitik of energy, the threat of people starving and freezing in Europe and Japan, will force geopolitical realignments that are completely inconceivable to 99% of people.
The energy price problems ballooning across Europe could soon manifest here in the US, where policymakers, in the name of emission reduction at all costs, are also moving away from reliable, abundant, and low-cost fossil fuels and nuclear in favor of solar and wind and battery, much of which are not only intermittent sources of energy and built using fossil fuels, but at immense cost to energy production.
Yep, and just like what Lawrence Leopard said, he wants the real stuff. He doesn't want any freaking funny money. Energy is real. Gold is real. Silver is real. Bitcoin is real. They don't want this stuff. It's so important to have this energy. It's ridiculous. Fossil fuel is great right now. We'll soon move to all that other stuff down the road, but it costs energy to even make solar powers and the wind power and all these things and these electric cars and stuff like that. It's all costing fuel, fossil fuels. So they just want to snap the fingers and just turn all that stuff on. It takes time to do that. And it's all a scam, ladies and gentlemen. You guys know that.
And while states like California push initiatives to move 100% to electric vehicles by 2035, officials there are also asking the public not to charge their EVs during heat waves because of their massive strain on the state's power grid, a potential foreshadowing of future issues with supply and demand.
We need better infrastructure to support the huge switch to EVs. We're not there yet. The grid can't support it.
And that's what I'm saying. The grid is not even close to supporting that. It is all a scam, ladies and gentlemen. When you got the American psycho, Gavin Newsom, telling everybody, we're going to switch over to electric cars by the year 2035 and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, when something happens, you need to unplug that. In other words, it's control. They're scamming you to scare you, to make you think that we need solar panels and solar cars and electric cars and stuff like that or whatever. But then as soon as something happens, you can't plug these in because it costs fossil fuel. Again, the grid is not made for this. This is why I don't like the CBDCs, because this is nothing but another form or an avenue of control. And that's why we cannot let Gavin Newsom be president. That's another story, but it's absolutely insane, man.
Fiat money, false narratives, and financial derivatives have essentially contributed to this.
Oil prices have doubled, coal prices have quadrupled, and natural gas is now 7 times more expensive than early last year.
And then you have Bitcoin as a measure of energy made possible by the proof of work mechanism, becoming pure price signal.
I think Bitcoin is just doing what gold would do if it didn't have the gigantic unallocated paper gold market attached to it. It's telling the truth about dollar liquidity, about money printer go burr.
And again, that's what I was telling you guys, the gold bugs, that if gold wasn't attached to the paper market, aka human beings and their greed, gold should be going up. The problem is they keep it out of the news. They don't talk about it. You think in school they taught us about gold and silver and say, hey, this is God's money. This is real money. You need to get as much as you can. No, because we're in a fiat system, a fiat Ponzi scheme. But Bitcoin is out of that system. It's a complete paradigm. So it cannot be debased. It cannot be manipulated. It can't. You know what I mean? But gold can, because it's attached to the human being with the paper market. This is why we have to opt out of this system. And this is why I tell you Bitcoin is freedom.
But here's a more tangible way Bitcoin is fitting into the energy narrative as a potential solution. With oil and gas companies striving to meet new emissions guidelines and checks amid rising costs, Bitcoin mining is becoming one of the easiest and most profitable ways to capture stranded energy that would have otherwise been released into the environment.
You can capture the natural gas, put it in a generator. That electricity can power a Bitcoin rig that is mining Bitcoin. Instead of economic waste, it makes it an economic profit.
Love Ted Cruz, not only one of my favorite senators, one of my favorite politicians, period, out of Texas. Just completely makes sense. He's on board with Bitcoin too. You gotta understand, guys, these Bitcoin miners or these Bitcoin hashers, because they're not really mining it out of the ground. They use the word mining because gold and silver does that. But these guys that hash Bitcoin, it does take a lot of energy to do it, but they are doing it in a very efficient way. Very efficient, you know what I mean? Like you said, all the wasted energy that we have from coal and all the stuff that escapes into the air and all this other stuff, Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin riggers and all that, they take all that wasted energy and turn it into a profit. And they turn that energy, that unused energy, into energy. I hope you truly understand how powerful that is.
American Bitcoin miners like Adam Ortoff of Upstream Data are doing just that and leaning into the indisputable reliability and energy density of fossil fuels.
None of us ever anticipated something like Bitcoin, so the world has to change, right? We have to figure out how to deal with oil and gas now that we have this new technology that can rescue all stranded energy.
And that's exactly why miners like Adam are in the trenches harnessing stranded energy and converting it into the hardest asset humanity has ever known, and competing to drive prices of energy down while benefiting from Bitcoin's price over the long run going up.
We should celebrate all forms of energy production and power generation. I think it's foolish to moralize some and demonize others. We should recognize humanity flourishes when we have abundant and economic energy. And so the more efficient and more production overall that we can encourage and we can incentivize, the better off we're going to be. Energy is not a bad thing. It's the best thing.
That's right, brother. Energy is the best thing. And again, we work hard every day. We wake up in the morning. We're up for 18 hours. We may work 9 or 10 hours, and then we take time to learn things and then, go out there and have fun and spend time with your family and all that stuff. That all takes energy. And then you go back to bed. You sleep for 6, 8, 7 hours a day to recharge your battery, because your energy it's not infinite. It's finite. You know what I mean? And that guy right there, and with many thousands and thousands of other people, they dedicate their life to Bitcoin and mining Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not just money, ladies and gentlemen. It is a lot of different things. And I'm telling you, don't take my word for it. All I'm doing is, like I said the other day, I'm the host of the restaurant. I'll say, here's your seat, here's your menu, take a look. You know what I mean? My offer still stands, ladies and gentlemen. I am giving Bitcoin away or Satoshis away. All you have to do is download the Moon Wallet, MUUN wallet on your app phone. That's a Bitcoin hot wallet. It's connected to the internet. Read the white paper of Bitcoin. And then what you do is, when you have the Moon Wallet, select the Lightning, because the Lightning is the layer 2 network on top of Bitcoin. It makes it move real fast. And then send me and say, I want to receive Bitcoin. You hit the receive button. There's a little code that comes up. Copy and paste it and send it to my email, and I will zap you some sats just like that. But I need you to do 3 things for me. All right. Number 1, learn everything you can about Bitcoin. Go on YouTube, read the white paper, do everything you can. All right. Number 2, once you learn about it, tell more people. Pass the word, because this is going to be freedom. This is the way we break away from tyranny. This is the way we break away from these governments, entities, and these evil people and these bureaucrats that are running this world, and the elites. They can't control Bitcoin. And number 3, buy more, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm not telling you to not buy precious metals. I'm not telling you any of that. But I'm telling you, man, Bitcoin is the way, and Bitcoin is the only thing. I'm telling you this right now, financially, is the way to set us free. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Again, if you want some Bitcoin, I will zap you some sats just like that, just for being a subscriber or being new. And if you have any questions, I'll leave them in the comments, okay? You guys know, man, I love my country. I love God. I love my family, but I love humanity, man. And it's not just for America. Even though I love America, Bitcoin is a global entity, and it's a global asset, and everyone can benefit from it. And it makes everything even. It'll end wars, it'll end poverty, and it'll keep everything from people not being debased. You know what I mean? Working for a currency that another man can print. You can't print Bitcoin. Do me a favor, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button, only if you like it. If you guys like my channel and my videos, go ahead and share it. It really will help me, guys, if you do that. I'm sharing little things with you. I'm sharing my passion. I'm sharing my love for humanity and the world. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.